Hello everyone, I'm the Normal Exile, and in today's video we're going to do just a quick overview of my League starter, which is the self-cast Volatile Dead. We're logged into too many buttons because it is a 2-button build. It's kind of more of a 3-button build actually, because we are we are extremely reliant on the mana regen from Mastermind of Discord. In fact, without that mana regen, it kind of bricks the build actually. So yeah, definitely pretty cool there. So we'll go over the skill tree. We did end up speccing out of Quick Recovery and out of Cruel Preparation, as I had thought that we would. Kept Firewalker, kept Arcanist Dominion and all this juicy stuff in here. Obviously, Undertaker is absolutely essential. Golem Commander is absolutely essential. We did end up speccing into Arcane Sanctuary in order to allow ourselves to get complete ailment immunity, complete stun avoidance, which is actually exceptional. Corrupted blood immunity, as always. Initially, I had thought about pathing through on the right side of the Scion here, grabbing Harrier and this sort of area here. But once we took Bastion of Elements, I did actually decide to go through the Shadow Start, because if we had pathed through here, we only would have gotten one notable Harrier here for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 travel points it would have taken. It's a couple more points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 2 additional points to path this way, but we do get 3 notables instead of 1, which is, what, 225 elemental damage shield, which is really nice. At the moment, we're sitting at 1,875. It has saved me from death at least 3 specific times that I can recall. So really important there. Maybe not that 200 damage specifically, but that shield in general has saved me quite a number of times. We do also have 100% chance to suppress spells. We do have the 3% extra from Inveterate here. We will be grabbing the even extra 3%, so it'll be 56% prevention of suppressed spell damage. Once we get a couple more levels, we did ultimately find our way all the way down to Iron Reflexes. Cloth and Chain, now POB has some sort of glitch or something like that, because initially when I was deciding on whether or not I wanted to spec into Cloth and Chain here, ultimately decided to do that to help cap our resist. You can see we're at directly 76 lightning resist here. We did mess around with a bunch of our gear slots and stuff like that. I'll go over that in a second. But POB says this takes our maximum physical hit from like 29,000 up to like 155,000. I think that's a glitch of some sort. But it did take us from about 20,000 armor to 31,720. So an extremely substantial amount of armor was gained there. You can see here we're estimated physical reduction at about 90%. Physical damage basically does absolutely nothing to us now. When coupled with our regen, we do have 381.3, and that does increase as we're fighting stuff and killing stuff and different things like that. One mistake that I wanted to point out, that actually I was not aware of this, but it did end up hindering me pretty substantially. That's not the right one. This one. Get that low roll garbage out of here. So around the time that I started transitioning into maps, I think somebody in trade chat was about to vendor this, and so I bought it from them for like 1 chaos, because I was like, oh, +1 fire spells, 58% fire damage, and then I was like, oh man, we can get some chance to poison, it'll just be some extra damage, it'll be great. And it was, don't get me wrong, totally was, but I was unintentionally causing Wave of Conviction to apply exposure to lightning instead of fire, which is really bad, because a huge portion of our damage, again, we are spec'd into Mastermind of Discord here, so basically we were losing out on minus 40% fire resistance, which was really impacting our damage, as you can imagine, really substantially. We do have Wave of Conviction linked with Hex, Touch, and Flammability. For a total of about 65% reduced fire damage. We were only getting about 25 because of the reduced effect from Hex Touch. So the difference between 25 and 65 is gigantic. So I ended up buying this wand here after I realized that, because I was looking at some resistant mobs and I was like, man, what in the heck is going on? Why are these guys seeming like they're not taking extra damage? It's because they weren't. So really make sure that you guys are not making mistakes like that. Don't do any sort of like physical to lightning here or anything like that, because I have done that in the past, which has bricked it as well. One thing you can do, I was doing this in the interim before I purchased this, was I did have socketed in added fire damage support, which helped add more fire damage, which helped us get that fire resist. But it's kind of a stupid link. Didn't really want that in the build anyway. We're not really using this for damage, so wasting that gem slot. You can see we're using two. Well, we don't really need the second unset ring, but I like having portal. It's really nice. Just personal preference there. Some major gear upgrades that we got. So we actually found, and this 6 links, I was trying to re-roll it for more evasion, and it kind of landed on this garbage, but it has a really good lightning res roll, which we absolutely need. We did actually get the lightning and chaos craft, so we are going to be swapping that from, I believe, our helmet and our amulet primarily. We've got a whole bunch of fire resist. I did have the lightning and chaos, or the fire and chaos craft on the chest here, but I ended up needing some intelligence in order to be able to equip this wand. So kind of goofy setup where the gear's pretty scuffed, but we do have a 6 link here. We've got volatile dead linked with combustion support, spell cascade, onslaught, unleash, and life tap. Life tap, as I mentioned earlier, basically if we're casting everything here, we can kind of keep that up, but as soon as we start, getting onslaught and the cast speed and everything, you can see our mana starts to disappear pretty quick because we're not getting that 1% regen for exposing things. So we are very reliant on that. So life tap helps us actually be able to cast our skills, which is nice. We do have a 4 link for our unearth. We've got unearth linked with arcane surge, lesser multiple projectiles, and unleash. We've got molten shell linked with increased duration. That's currently giving us like almost a 7,000 shield. Once we get everything tallied up, I think it usually goes up to about 7,500 or something like that. Frost, blink, and grace. We do have determination linked in the +1 socketed gems. Unset ring here. The rings are basically just cast speed, life, and resist, whatever I could get at the time. The gloves actually turned out pretty good, mostly just crafted life. We really want to get exposure on hit on our gloves. Then we can actually spec out of Wave of Conviction and do a completely separate something for those gem links. I haven't decided on that. We might just leave it in because Wave of Conviction is kind of nice. It's kind of a cool spell anyway. We've got our Flame Golem and our Lightning Golem linked with Meat Shield. We've got our Chaos Golem and our Stone Golem linked with Feeding Frenzy. And then we've got Herald of Ash supported by nothing in the helmet there. So that covers the gem links. Already went over most of the tree. We kind of stopped up here. Of course, we have Instinct, which helps keep our energy shield recovered. Helps those little hits that hit us. We do have the Grace Reservation Mastery. Eventually, we are going to get the increased evasion rating from our body armor mastery here. It's only 632 right now, so it's not substantial. Eventually, we'll recraft that to have more on there. We will be picking up this jewel socket and this jewel socket. Again, once we get a couple more levels. We're only level 83, so we've got a lot of more points to put into the build and stuff like that. I do plan on getting the gain 5% of evasion rating as extra armor in the interim before we pick up Disciple of the Unyielding and potentially Disciple of the Slaughter. I haven't fully decided on that. There is a part of me that does kind of actually just want to go no energy shield or low energy shield and go Blood Rage to get frenzy charges, because that would be pretty nice. But I haven't fully decided on that. I'm also on the fence about getting deflection, chance to gain an endurance charge when you block. However, this is only 3, 6, 11% chance to block, which would put us at, I think, like 30. If I can find where the block chance is. It's It's basically just the shield, which is 25, which is really not that good. So I probably won't end up doing that. Eventually, once we do get some suppress, probably on our boots, I will be speccing out of Entrench here, putting this 1 point here, and then speccing out of these 2, chance to avoid elemental ailments, because we are at a base of 115, so we could lose that 8% there, still be at 100%, or 107%, which would be great. We can use those points that we're spending there. I do want to pick up at least the 1 phasing node, if not the 2nd phasing node, if not this whole wheel, and get the 30% chance to avoid bleeding, poison, and impale, which would be nice. That would put us to the point where we could be 100% avoidance there. And then I do want to pick up bravery. Again, you know, ignore the movement penalties from armor, and then we do get the 24% evasion rating and armor, which is effectively 48% armor, which is really, really nice. I don't think we really need more physical mitigation at this point. I'm actually really interested in finding a way to get more mana in the build. Probably end up just getting some rings that have, like, you know, mana regeneration rate. Because the first couple days I was gimping my reduced fire resistance, I have actually had a pretty rough time getting through maps. I've done probably about 150 maps by this point, pretty slow, pretty sluggish. So we've got a tier 5 map. I have like 1 tier 6 map, but it's not a very good map boss for this character. So we're just going to do a quick showcase of what the build looks like, how to play it, how it feels. So the playstyle is basically you cast your Wave of Conviction, you get things going like that, and then you just cast your Volatile Dead. I did just recently spec out of Graceful Assault. I think that was actually a mistake, because the amount of Onslaught that we get with just the Onslaught gem is kind of not enough. You can keep it up if you're really blasting, but I kind of like having it just basically guaranteed permanent uptime all the time. The additional attack, move, and cast speed is really, really important for the build, because we do thrive on that cast speed. So you can see damage is okay. We're kind of in the phase where we'll be speccing into damage. Like I said, Disciple of the Unyielding, probably Disciple of the Slaughter, which will give us 8% damage per charge. We'll end up getting the Endurance and Frenzy charge that are right there. Next to that, so it'd be 4 each, so it'd be 8 charges times 8%, which would be 64% increased damage, which would be nice, give us a little bit of area effect, plus the Frenzy charges give us a 4% more damage multiplier, which would be 16% more damage. So that'll help us push into the middle higher tier yellow and progressing into the red maps. Also, just better gear in general would help. Helmet enchant. I do actually have a increased Volatile Dead helmet enchant, but it is uncrafted, so we're not using it. Where's that heralding minion coming from? Is this guy back here? Oh, there he is. Yeah, get that out of here. Cool. Yeah, the build's extremely tanky. I very rarely have to worry about... And then one trick you can do is you can actually just hold down your Volatile Dead and then just periodically click the Unearth, and it'll actually just continually cast your Volatile Dead, which if you're not really worried about taking damage, like this guy doesn't seem like he really does that much damage, we can just sit here and kill this guy. It does seem like he's got he's got extra life, periodically enrages. Yeah, so this guy's got lots of life. And then we've got extra life on the map, less effective curses. So this guy's pretty tanky, but you can see super tanky ourselves, so we're not really worried about just sitting there and tanking damage from him. Now we obviously don't want to just sit in all this damage here. But you can see we've lost about 1,000 off of our shield there. Hasn't even touched our life or anything like that. It's a pretty good deal, nice and tanky. Really good starter, especially for hardcore. I do think ultimately a Necromancer is going to be the higher damage and utility output version of this character, because you do get Essence Glutton, which is a huge amount of mana and energy shield regen, which is great. You do get the opportunity to make offerings affect you, and then if you can turn the button into a one-button playstyle through either Kitava's Thirst or cast while channeling or cast on crit, or however you want to set that up, and you can see we can use the technique here. And we can, ooh, nice tier 6 map, cool. So that's the map. I'll finish this later. You know, everybody's always worried that I'm not going to finish the maps and stuff like that. You can see we didn't even actually finish that. We'll go ahead and talk about the Atlas tree. Basically, haven't gotten very far. Like I said, I had a pretty rough go of things at the start because I was gimping my damage. But basically, we went to this Betrayal node. Because I really like Betrayal. In Hardcore, unless you're really, really strong, I pretty much always grab Wellspring of Creation, because the 25% less damage is really impactful. It's really, really noticeable, especially when your gear kind of sucks. Picking up Shaping the Skies. We are pathing over to Shaping the Mountains right now. Excuse me. Give us that additional chance for higher tier maps, which we really, really, really need. And then we picked up Covert Stakeouts, because our initial Atlas strategy is going to be focused around Betrayal, selling Ashling Slams, selling Lilo Slams, stuff like that, Hillock Quality, Varici, White Sockets, all that sort of stuff. Once we get that filled out, we are going to be picking up some of the Breach nodes, specifically trying to juice up the amount of experience that we're getting, as well as the chance for these 5 and 6 random modified Abyss jewels. So we're going to be going Betrayal, we're going to be going Abyss, and then with whatever points we have left over, we're going to be filling out the rest with Breach. Because I do have some friends who do Breach runs and stuff like that, which is really, really good. I like to help supply them with points there. So let's go ahead and put this point here. And that's the build. It's worked out pretty successful. This amulet's pretty garbage. It's literally just resist. That's just cast speed, life, and resist. Cast speed, life, and resist. Suboptimal links in the chest. Life tap would be better as either fire penetration or cruelty. Fire penetration would obviously fit best with the build. That's what I would like to do. The onslaught support is kind of good versus bosses, helping us keep that uptime. I'm not super sold on that. But it is good. Obviously, we could get better boots, preferably an evasion base with some spell suppress. The shield's kind of okay. It's under 1,000 armor. It's not even 20% quality, so we'll go ahead and hit that, get that over. Oh! What a troll. What a troll. 998. But yeah, just filling out the gear, making things better. And getting some more damage mods. But overall, build's been a ton of fun. I had a really, really great time league starting with this. I do have a super awesome build that's in the works for you guys. I just need somebody to sell me a Voltaxic Rift for a reasonable price. There's one listed for 30 divines. I have 2, so we are not there yet. But we're working on it. It's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be, I'll give you guys a teaser. It's going to be a Hex Blast, Tri-Elemental, Freeze Shock Ignite, plus Poison, utilizing Voltaxic Rift for some 105% shock effect. So, should be pretty cool. Look forward to seeing when that build comes together. I'm personally excited to put it together, but I will catch you next time. Bye!